Hello, my name is Sarah, and welcome to my channel, Play with Curious Sunshine, where we talk about the transformative power of play. We talk about how to approach life with a playful mindset, and I talk about how I've used play to do the same. So, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think would be inspired by what we have to talk about. So, today we are going to talk about rhyming, the power of rhyming, the magic behind rhyming, and really looking at this as a playful approach to language. And language is something that we need as humans. How do we know what to communicate and how to talk to one another without language? And this is language, particularly we're talking about like verbal language, but language exists in all these different forms, rather it's energetic, through physical body language, and then also through verbal communication. So I'm looking at my notes. So if you see me look down, it's because I will go on a tangent and I don't want to. So we want to stay with the program. So what is rhyming, right? Rhyming is a combination, pairing words that either sound the same or have the same ending. Cat in the hat. So you have those two last letters that come together and create this fun flowing way of speaking. And so this is really cool for me because this is a playful approach to writing, to speaking. And the idea of rhyming has been around for years. For years, this is done. Rhyming has been used in ancient Kemetic scribing. This has been used in like Shakespeare. You read like old romantic poetry and sonnets, and you see rhyming present there. All the way up to now, current time, where we have musicians, right, using rhyming in raps and hip hop and how we sing, right? Rhyming is everywhere. Poetry everywhere. We like rhyming. Rhyming is fun. And so we're kind of going to massage that a little bit, kind of dive deep into this and really look at rhyming through not only this playful scope, but also the spiritual scope, because there's so much spiritual meaning that is, that rhyming does play a part in. And so when I think of rhyming, I think of like more of like a childlike, fun, innocent approach to storytelling. And I think of like Mother Goose and nursery rhymes. Hey, diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, right? And all this. I used to love nursery rhymes and Mother Goose and all of like, I remember just bedtime and getting read these nursery rhymes as a kid, and they were so fun and they were so fanciful. And I I contribute my love for nursery rhymes into what makes me this whimsical person that I am today, because I was like, tell me more about Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And it's so easy to remember because of that power of rhyme. And it's so funny too. So just thinking about nursery rhymes and poetry, right? Roses are red, violets are blue, and then you have something that you could rhyme at the end, because blue is one of those words that have a lot of words that can rhyme with it. I think of like song lyrics. Song lyrics are easy to remember if there's these rhyming components. And I also think that Dr. Seuss, outside of him creating and illustrating these fun, wacky, whimsical stories, that rhyming factor is also part of what makes his work so enjoyable to read and kind of come back to. Sam I am, green eggs and ham. And so, yeah, there's like, that's just some of the rhymingness that I loved growing up and still love now. And even sharing these things, I'm coming back to it. I want to go back to these nursery rhymes and really reread them through this more adult lens. Also because these rhymes and these nursery rhymes and these Mother Goose, riddles and stories, more often than not, when you research these and really look into them, they were fun and playful ways to communicate the trials and tribulations of the current time. Even like, what is it? What was the Ring Around the Rosies, Apocryphal Posies, was about the Black Plague. And so if you look, I think there's like London bridges falling down. Was about like a war, like some sort of like war efforts. And so when you look back at these nursery rhymes, you see that there are these deeper meanings, and it really, having that rhyming, innocent, fun, whimsical component is, I think, a great idea, or a great it's a great example of how we can take these very deep, serious, current issues and create stories about them that will be remembered, and using the power of rhyming as a component of storytelling to really solidify and create a memorable experience for us to tell the times. And also, trying, getting more on the more intellectual scope. Rhyming also helps with mental agility, right? You have to communicate a message in a way that makes sure that that last piece of the sentence rhymes with the previous piece and can rhyme with the next one. So there is mental agility to rhyming. There's also memorability. I just riddled off like 3 nursery rhymes that I have not read since I was 5. But because of the rhymes and how much joy it brought me, I still remember them. So think about the rhymes and riddles and stories that you remember that had these rhyming components. And even goes into like childhood games. There's so many childhood games that we played on the playground that had these rhyming components. I bet you can remember one. I bet you can. And the idea of rhyming kind of resurfaced when I started looking at how I show up as the play alchemist, right? This magician. And I think rhyming has these magical components, and it's fun. I love rhyming. I think it's fun for me to create. It helps me keep my brain sharp in regards of how I communicate these things, because again, the mental agility to communicate a complex thought in a way that's fun and has rhyming words. So I made sure that when I wrote my children's horror book, Maisie Mystery, I was like, it has to rhyme. It has to rhyme, because we're looking at these dark and scary components of this story, but having this rhyming part kind of makes it a little more fun to read through. And I also do this when I make riddles. A lot of the riddles, especially if you have interacted with my brand on social media or have done some of my escape room things that I've done, I love creating riddles. I make them up from my head because it helps, again, practice that mental agility. And it's also fun and mystical to create these riddles for you guys to solve. So really looking at rhyming in this way, I think is just exciting. There's no outcome for me creating this video. I just want to talk about this. Rhyming's been in my brain space for a while, and I was like, I need to talk about this. I need to share this with you guys. Maybe it'll inspire you to look back into this realm of rhyming, this world of rhyming, to see how you could bring it back into your life. And so I want to just kind of move this into this more mystical, magical realm and really explore how rhyming has been used in this more magical, mystical sense. You look at like spells and things like that, and these rhyming has been used in these components as well. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. That is a kitty spell, right? You see it in the witch archetype in stories, still rhyming. Even when you look at some more general spells, there's these rhyming components, and that's, I think, I had to dig more into that, because I was like, why do we like to rhyme when we create our spells, um or incantations? And it's because there's this rhythmic quality that you have when you are reciting these spells, these incantations, these affirmations, anything that you need to amplify the energy of the outcome that you want. There is this rhythmic rhyming quality, and it's easy to remember. It's easy to get into this groove, and it's easier to get into a trance when you when you add rhyming into your spells, your incantations, whatever you subscribe to when you meditate or venerate, right? I say spells loosely. Take the meaning for what you will. If it's just an affirmation that you say to yourself in the morning, sure, whatever. But to keep it magical, we're going to use spells. We're going to use the term spells. So really looking at, if I created a spell, or I'm working on a spell, or something like that, and there's a rhyming quality, it's easier for me to remember. So then when I am doing my magical things, I can focus more on the intention of what I want and the outcome, and I could focus more on the energy than like trying to remember the words. What words is no? I already created something fun and rhymey, so now I can just recite these rhymes and then spend more time pouring in the energy and really figuring out how I want it to feel, what I want it to mean, and what I want to visualize. And so I say this to say that rhyming spells are cool because it helps you get into this trance. It really helps you set the intention, and you're spending more time with that quantum energy than you are trying to remember the words. And so my invitation to you is, what is your relation to rhyming? Did you like reading nursery rhymes as a kid? Are you a poet? Do you like rhyming in your poetry? What's your favorite rhyming structure? There's so many that exist out there. I'm not a professional writer in that scope, so I'm not going to touch much on that. But thinking about maybe create a fun rhyming affirmation that you tell yourself in the morning, and see how that makes you feel. See how that changes your energy. See if it brings you joy. See if it's easy to remember, so then you don't have to write it down and look at it all the time. It just pops into your head, and you could say it or sing it. For example, I did write one down. I am living a life of joy and flow because I allow myself to heal and grow. Simple and easy to remember. And then you can spend more time embodying that affirmation and really dedicate time to doing that than trying to remember what the affirmation was. So, you like to rhyme? Put your relationship to rhyming out in the comments. You have a favorite nursery rhyme? Plop that in there too. You created a rhyming affirmation? Throw that in the comments so that you can inspire others and really just help amplify our work in creating a more playful place to live. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for playing.